Booze Jake here with my review of the Nerf Zombie Strike Ripchain. Now this blaster was introduced quite some time ago, and I had delayed putting in a review because I was kind of conflicted on how I felt about it, and I really wanted to test it out. Now what this blaster is a pump action chain or belt fed springer that features a 25 round chain, which is a nice capacity without having to use magazines, and pump action and advertising Slamfire. Now, as far as I know, they don't currently sell any replacement chains, but it would be very easy to swap them out if you were to carry preloaded chains. But the only way to do that so far would be to buy other rip chains and just salvage the chain from them. But this blaster itself retails for almost nearly $40. Keep that in mind when I come later to the issues that this blaster has. Now, I did actually put this over the chronograph. I even range tested it, and it does put out performance that is on par with other Nerf brand blasters, which is, for those of you who want chronograph figures, this does average right at the 70 feet per second. And I did test it quite a bit with multitude of darts, and I did get, again, the slight bonus with Precise Pros. I did see that bump up to the middle 70s or so, but that's Precise Pros. They do just simply work better in springers. And in this case, no different. But testing it with Nerf's own Elites, AccuStrike copies from other brands, such as the NF Strike ones that I use in my personal bin of a couple thousand, they all fired at around 70 feet per second. So, no complaints on the performance. Now, I'm going to go straight into the issue that this blaster has. Now, I ran into this problem and showcased it and have even talked about it in the past on my channel and on Facebook. This advertises having Slamfire. However, if you go and check my range test video, which I will link in the little card up above over here, this thing struggles to actually Slamfire. It's part of the clutch mechanism that helps to advance the chain as you pump it. If you try to pump too fast, also known as Slamfire, by holding the trigger down and then pumping, see, even there it snagged and hung up. And that's only with 3 shots. But with loaded with darts, this thing will actually start skipping. And again, click the card here at the end of the video if you want actual video documented proof of when that's happening. I actually got Nerf to send me a second one. They sent it actually and didn't require me to send in the first example. And much to my dismay, the second one had the exact same problem. Now, can you fix it? Sure. You open this blaster up, you epoxy that clutch, the belt will no longer be able to skip through like that, which is that's a safety feature to protect the blaster, so that you don't pull it and then strip out the mechanism itself. Instead, it allows the clutch to slip and skip so that you can pull the belt. Now, you will lose that feature and that ability, but you could actually take this blaster apart, epoxy the clutch to stop it from actually, well, being a clutch, and instead it'll be a solid gear. That would solve the problem. However, then again, this thing should just work as it's supposed to, straight out of the package. That's my position and stance in a review. The product should do what it's advertised to do, straight out of the box. So does that make me absolutely hate the blaster? No, actually, this is one of those weird times, and there's only been a couple blasters here in recent memory where I use it, I don't like it at first, and then I wait and give it time, use it a few more times, and I actually end up finding myself liking it, even despite its flaws. Now, I'm not going to give this thing a recommended approval. The blaster works fine in the single fire mode, and it has a high capacity for a non-magazine fed blaster. And yes, it does hit the 70 feet per second average of a Nerf blaster that you've come to expect. However, there are other blasters that do the same thing better. One of the first one that comes to mind is the X-Shot Turbo Advance. It's cheaper. That's a huge deal right there. It holds more darts, and it has higher performance. It fires in the middle to upper 70s in my testing, whereas this fires right at around 70. And it holds 40 instead of the 25 here. And, of course, X-Shot is looking into selling their drums separately. If they do that, they'll have a huge advantage over Nerf, which tends to make these proprietary systems, think of the Battle Scout, the little indexing clips on it, can't ever find them unless you go on eBay and buy a spare Battle Scout and throw it away and keep the clip. Same thing with this. You're likely stuck with this one belt on a $40 blaster, and you don't get your Slamfire unless you mod it, and then you've had to do the work yourself. The Turbo Advance does the same job as this, better, and it doesn't have Slamfire, or it doesn't advertise it. But then X-Shot also has their new Turbo Fire that does have Slamfire. That's two options right there. And there are other things out there. If you look for Slamfire, the Busby Barbarian has dual drums, and it's a Slamfire only blaster. That's just another option out there. This is the most expensive out of all the ones I've mentioned, with the lowest performance, the lowest, or about the lowest capacity, and it doesn't do what it said. But if you are able to live without the Slamfire, I've actually found myself, in a weird way, enjoying the blaster. I have to remind myself not to Slamfire because it will lock it up and it won't, and it'll start skipping and do all kinds of weird things, and then you'll have to maybe bump the belt and go into single fire anyways. But as a single fire, it's kind of a funky and neat blaster. I still can't recommend it, but if you're willing to tinker with it, there is a chance of making this thing be a unique blaster that would be functionally usable. I don't know that I still would recommend it, but it's kind of a mixed review, and I've waited so long to put my review out because I wanted to get a thumb on exactly how I wanted to say it. But after having two of these that have the exact same problem, I thankfully didn't have to pay for the second one, but dear goodness, don't ever pay the $40 retail price. Not only will I not recommend the blaster overall, without giving you the huge warning that it won't Slamfire, it won't do that. There are better options out there that you can buy for cheaper, but dear goodness, don't you dare pay the $40 price for this thing. That is way overpriced compared to, like, my Turbo Advance. I got it on sale for 20 bucks. And I see that sale price going all the time, and that's a far, far superior blaster from X-Shot. And I know, I'm not, for once, I'm not saying Busby is your alternative, but we're going to go there. The Mutator is coming out. It's in the same price range. It holds 2 magazines. This thing has a 25 round capacity. 2 worker 22 magazines. In the Busby Mutator is 44 rounds. This only holds 25. That thing is actually a few dollars cheaper than this is retail price, around $39.88. I think I've seen it on Walmart. I'd much rather have the Mutator over this. Just me, I'd rather have the Turbo Advance over this. But I can't just absolutely crush the blaster because I did have a little bit of fun with it in my months of testing. I found using it, it was kind of fun in some stock Nerf wars, which is what I did finally find a use for it. Some stock Nerf wars where we were using non-magazine fed blasters. And sometimes we do run special things like that, like pistol only rounds and no magazines allowed rounds. And this thing has a place, but it's just not the leader of that category. It's down towards the bottom end. But this is my review of the Nerf Zombie Strike Ripchain. And the best I can say, at best, it is a lackluster blaster that has problems. But if you like funky, you can make it work. But don't you dare pay the full price for it. I will have to literally reach through the camera and smack you. This thing's not worth 40 bucks. You better buy it on clearance if you see it. Buy it used, secondhand, do whatever. And then tinker with it. Because it's going to need a spring upgrade. It's going to need the clutch fixed. That's the only way you're going to be able to use it. Hopefully, though, the actual realistic opinion here that I'm giving you, the truth can hurt sometimes, but hopefully it helps you if you were looking at this blaster. Because don't buy it. Unless you're ready to tinker, and make sure you get the thing on sale. This is Mongus Jake with my review of the Nerf Zombie Strike Ripchain. It's like, but I kind of like it. I'm mixed. I'm confused. But I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.